Welcome student friends in Alka's Botany channel. Please like, share and subscribe the channel. Today we are going to learn nucleus, an important cell organelle, its structure and function. Nucleus is a membrane-bound structure that contains the cell's hereditary information and controls the cell's growth and reproduction. It is the command center of a eukaryotic cell and is commonly the most prominent organelle in a cell. The nucleus is separated from the rest of the cell or the cytoplasm by a nuclear membrane. Number of nucleus in most of the eukaryotic cell contains only one nucleus. That means cell is called mononucleate, uninucleate or monokaryotic cell. But some cells also shows binucleate structure, that is a two nuclei, and polynucleate or multinucleate structure in which trinucleated, tetranucleated and polynucleated. The shape of the nucleus is mostly round. It may be oval, disc shaped depending on the type of a cell and state of the cell also. Generally, nucleus occupies 10% of the cell volume. Size varies from 3 mu microns to 25 mu microns depending on cell type. Size of the nucleus is directly proportional to the cytoplasm. That means if in cell abundant cytoplasm is present, then the size of nucleus is larger, and if the cytoplasm is prominently smaller, then the nucleus size is also smaller. Size is related with ploidy level also. That means haploid cells have small size nucleus than diploid and polyploidal cells and vice versa. The size depends on cell volume, amount of DNA and protein and metabolic phase of that cell. Every cell has two major periods in its life cycle. This is an interphase in which G1 phase, S phase and G2 phase comprises. We call them as an interphase, and this is a M phase or dividing phase of the nucleus. So the nuclear study always done during the interphase. The nucleus remains as a complete and distinct cell organelle, so its structure is studied during the interphase. This is the ultrastructure of nucleus, in which prominently there is a nuclear envelope where there is an outer membrane and inner membrane. In between these membrane continuity, it is interrupted by nuclear pore. At the center there is a gelatinous matrix which is called as a nucleoplasm. This is a dark staining body, we call it is a nucleolus, and the chromatin material, which is an important material embedded in the nucleoplasm. So this is a structure in which this membrane system is interrupted by nuclear pore. These are nucleolus, these are chromatin material, and all that is embedded inside the nucleoplasm within the endomembrane system of nucleus. Nuclear envelope. It is the first one. It is also known as perinuclear envelope. It separates the nucleoplasm from cytoplasm. It helps in the effective communication between nucleus and cytoplasm. Nuclear envelope is composed of two unit membranes, outer membrane and inner membrane. Each membrane is about 75 to 90 angstrom unit thick. Both membranes are lipoproteinous in nature. That means they are made up of lipids and proteins. Two membranes are separated by a space of 1000 angstrom unit thick called as perinuclear space. This is a perinuclear space. This is the inner membrane and this is the outer membrane, and in between that there is a perinuclear space is located. The outer membrane remains rough due to attachment of ribosomes. Nuclear membrane is interrupted by structures called nuclear pores, which are 600 angstrom unit wide. Nuclear lamina next to nuclear envelope or nuclear membrane. Inside that there is a blue colored line inside the membrane. It is nothing but a mesh-like supporting membrane called fibrous lamina, which is 300 angstrom unit thick. It is a network of intermediate filaments and are approximately 10 nanometers in diameter and composed of polypeptides called lamins, which are A, B1, B2 and C. These are 4 types of lamins. It helps in organizing the nuclear envelope and perinuclear chromatin and also plays a role in DNA elongation phase. It is essential during mitotic events where phosphorylation of lamins leads to disassembly and dephosphorylation results in reassembly of the nuclear envelope during the dividing phase. Apoptosis, a highly regulated process in which nuclear lamina is disassembled following proteolytic activity of capsase protein. This is a nuclear pore complex. These pores are enclosed by a circular structure called annuli. Singly, it is called annulus. These pores and annuli together constitute the nuclear pore complex. Sometimes pore complex is covered by a thin membrane to regulate the permeability. The annulus extends both into cytoplasm and the nucleoplasm. There are three main theories regarding the structure of nuclear pore complex. According to first theory, the annulus is a non-membranous hollow cylinder fitting into the nuclear pore. The second theory suggests that the annular material extends laterally beyond the pore margin. This theory was further advanced and suggested that on both the margins, that is inner and outer of the pores, 8 granules, each with 150 angstrom unit in diameter, are arranged. Within the pore, there is a central granule. This is a central granule enlarged here. This is a central granule. Fine fibrils extended from central to peripheral granules, forming a cartwheel structure. Pores are octagonal in shape and the annulus of the pore is composed of an amorphous matrix in which granules and thin filaments are present. Lamina of nucleoplasmic material and thick spokes. The cytoplasmic materials are at the top while nucleoplasmic material, nuclear lamina, at the base, and these two are connected by thick spokes. Each ring shows presence of units and in the center of the ring, the large particles form a plug. 8 radial spokes extends from the plug to the rings on both the sides. As every region in the complex consists of 8 units, the entire structure shows octagonal symmetry. The central plug acts as a transporter which carries out the active transport during nucleoplasmic and cytoplasmic interactions. The entire structure looks like a basket with base attached to nucleoplasm or nuclear lamina and the upper part to the cytoplasm. All this is about the nuclear pore complex. Nuclear matrix and nucleoplasm. Nucleoplasm is a gelatinous substance within the nuclear envelope, also called as karyoplasm. This semi-aqueous material is similar to the cytoplasm and is composed mainly of water with dissolved salts, enzymes, and organic molecules. In the nucleoplasm, there is uncondensed chromatin, that is a substance containing DNA and proteins. These chromatin regions are called euchromatin regions. That is a true chromatin. There are chromocenters that remains condensed at the interface. Such regions are called heterochromatic structures or regions. The remaining region of nucleoplasm is occupied by a granular fluid called nuclear sap. This sap contains numerous electron-dense granules, some of which contain RNA. It shows presence of a spheroidal dark staining body called a nucleolus. It was discovered that nucleoplasm contains a nuclear matrix or a nuclear skeleton of proteinaceous nature. The nuclear matrix is attached to the internal part of the inner nuclear membrane and forms nuclear lamina. Third one important component of nucleus is nucleolus. The nucleolus, plurally it is called a nucleoli, is a dense spherical shaped structure present inside the nucleus. It was first discovered by Fontana in 1787. Some of the eukaryotic organisms have nucleus that contains up to 4 nucleoli. In the nucleolus, ribosomal RNA synthesis takes place. Hence, it plays an indirect role in protein synthesis. The presence of prominent nucleolus indicates that the cell is actively synthesizing protein. Nucleolus disappears when cell undergoes division and is reformed after the completion of karyokinesis. And the fourth one important part of the nucleus is chromatin material. It is a thread-like, coiled and much elongated structures observed only during the interphase, chemically made up of DNA and proteins, and the ratio of DNA and protein is 1:1. There are two types of chromatin material, heterochromatin, which are darkly stained, condensed regions supposed to be metabolically and genetically inactive because it contains a small amount of DNA and large amount of RNA. And another one is euchromatin, which is lightly stained, diffused region, genetically very active, large amount of DNA is present in the euchromatin. DNA packaging is an important part in which first part is of DNA and histones. DNA is the main genetic constituent of a cell and it carries all the genetic information in a coded form from one generation to the next generation. Each species of an organism has a characteristic content of DNA and it is constant in all the individuals of that species. The folding of DNA is started when the proteins called histones interact with the DNA. The chromosomes are the basic unit of heredity. DNA is arranged on the chromosome and made up of nitrogenous bases, phosphate and sugar. The arrangement of DNA on chromosome through nucleosome assembly is known as DNA packaging. The nucleoplasm contains number of thread-like, coiled, elongated structures known as chromatin material or chromatin fibers. Chromatin appears as a viscous gelatinous substance that contains DNA, RNA, basic proteins that is histones and non-histones. DNA and histones are always present in a fixed ratio of about 1:1. Histones are small proteins and are basic in nature because they have a content of the basic amino acids arginine and lysine. There are 5 different histones isolated from the eukaryotic chromosomes. They are designated as H1, H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. H1 is lysine-rich histone, which can be easily separated from DNA in chromosome, indicating that this histone is not tightly attached to DNA. H2A and H2B are slightly lysine-rich, and H3 and H4 proteins are arginine-rich proteins. These H2A, H2B, H3 and H4 are called core histones and are present in equimoral amount. The H1 histone is mainly involved in higher order folding of chromatin, while core histones are used for holding together the DNA molecules in chromatin fibers. The first level is nucleosome formation. In this chromosome formation, the first level of organization is formation of thin fiber of 10 nanometers diameter from the dispersed chromatin material in the nucleus called nucleosome. The nucleosome is a unit of chromatin consisting of 200 base pairs of DNA coiled around a histone octamer. In that octamer, two each histones H2A, H2B, H3 and H4. These are of two molecules. Because of that it is called as octamer, and one molecule of H1 histone. Is a flat disc-shaped particle of 11 nanometer in diameter and about 5.7 nanometer in height. The nucleosomes are connected by linker DNA to connect nucleosomes in proper order. The linker DNA makes two complete turns around histone octamers, and turns are sealed off by the molecule of H1 histone and produces the beads on string appearance. Histone proteins are positively charged protein molecules which interact with negatively charged phosphate of DNA and makes a tight wrap. The H1 histone is not involved in the nucleosome assembly. Hence, the remaining four histones are called as core element or nucleosome core particles. DNA molecules wrap around the octamer of four histones and create the nucleosome core. The fiber then sufficiently thick between 20 nanometers to 30 nanometers, and such thick fiber represents the structure of inactive chromatin. The 30 nanometer fiber consists of closely packed nucleosomes. The 30 nanometer fiber probably develops from the foldings of nucleosome chain into solenoidal structure, which is solenoid, that is a wire coiled around the central hollow, having about 6 nucleosomes per turn. This structure represents the next higher level of organization. The H1 histone molecules can interact with each other because they are located in the central hole of the solenoid. The 30 nanometer fiber organized further into one of the two models, that is a solenoid model and zigzag model. In the solenoid model, the 11 nanometer fiber of nucleosome is arranged as solenoids in which the linker DNA is arranged in the center. In the zigzag model of 30 nanometer fiber, the linker DNA is passed through the central axis of the fiber and creates a zigzag pattern of arrangement. Thus, there are two types of models: solenoid appearance and zigzag model appearance. Linker DNA at the central position, and here linker DNA passed across the central part. Because of that, it is called zigzag pattern of arrangement. Third one structure is scaffold structure and DNA loops. The central axis of scaffold is made up of non-histone proteins, and it is responsible for maintaining the shape of the metaphase chromosome. This central axis is a non-histone material, whereas these loops are developed by the DNA. This is a proper hollow central axis of non-histone material, and in TS it shows at the central position only, that non-histone material. Each metaphase chromosome has two scaffolds, one for each chromatid, and they are connected at a centromere. DNA is arranged in loops which are anchored or tightly attached to the non-histone proteins in the central axis or scaffold. This is the final level of organization level. This is a DNA is contained in the nucleosome chain. It forms a nucleosome chain in which there are two turns coiled around the nucleosome for the formation of 30 nanometer chromatin fiber. DNA is arranged in loop-like structures which are anchored or tightly attached to the non-histone proteins. The central axis, this is the central axis or scaffold, is made up of non-histone proteins and it is responsible for maintaining the shape of the metaphase chromosome. And last one, this is a proper chromosome at the metaphase level. Each metaphase chromosome has two scaffolds, one for each chromatid. They are connected at the centromere region. So this is a DNA. This forms a nucleosome structure. These nucleosomes forms a loop from this layer, and these loops are connected on the central non-histone material for the formation of chromosome. And lastly, there are functions of a nucleus. First important function is it controls the heredity characteristics of an organism. It stores heredity material in the form of deoxyribonucleic acid, that is a DNA strands. Also, it stores proteins and ribonucleic acid, that is RNA, in the nucleolus. Nucleus is responsible for protein synthesis, cell division, growth and differentiation. It maintains cellular metabolism through controlling synthesis of particular enzymes. It is a site for transcription process in which messenger RNA or mRNA are produced for protein synthesis. Thank you. Thank you very much.